I used to think the worst thing that could happen to a man was losing his money, his status, his power. Turns out I was wrong. The worst thing is losing people the moment you become inconvenient. I learned that lesson the hard way sitting in a wheelchair listening to my own wife laugh at me like I was already dead. My name doesn't matter anymore, so let's just say I was once a tech founder who hit it big. Not overnight, not by luck, but by grinding for years, sleeping in my office, betting everything on ideas other people called stupid. By my mid-30s, I had the glass house on the hill, the cars, the headlines, the kind of life that makes strangers assume you've never suffered a day in your life. And I was married to a woman named Vanessa, stunning, sharp-tongued, the type who knew exactly how to walk into a room and own it. People said we were a power couple. Yeah, that illusion didn't last. The accident happened on a night I still replay in my head sometimes. Heavy rain, empty road. One bad turn, 1 second too late. Metal folded glass exploded, and when I woke up in the hospital, the doctor didn't need long speeches. One sentence was enough. You won't walk again. Just like that, everything I built suddenly felt fragile. Vanessa cried at first. She squeezed my hand, told me we'd get through it together. I believed her. I really did. But sympathy has an expiration date when it's mixed with entitlement. Weeks passed, then months. And slowly the woman who promised forever started disappearing. She stopped coming home early. She stopped asking how I was feeling. She started dressing up for nights I wasn't invited to. And when I asked, really asked what was going on, she snapped. She said she didn't marry a burden. She said she had dreams, a life to live. And then she said something that still echoes in my head, if you need help so badly, hire someone. I'm not your caretaker. That's how Lena entered the picture. A quiet young woman from nowhere anyone cared to name. She showed up with a single bag, eyes alert but tired, like someone who'd learned early not to expect kindness. She wasn't impressed by the house, the art, the money. She just asked where she should start. And from day one, she treated me like a person, not a problem. Vanessa hated that. You could see it in her eyes. The way she corrected Lena too sharply, the way she mocked her accent, her clothes, her background. Once right in front of me, she laughed and said, "Don't get any ideas. He's broken, not blind." I wanted to say something. I wanted to scream. But when you're stuck in a chair and already being reminded daily of what you've lost, silence feels safer. Lena, though she did not play that game. She spoke to me honestly, sometimes gently, sometimes bluntly. She pushed me outside when I'd locked myself indoors. She talked about books about survival, about how pain doesn't get to decide who you are unless you let it, and little by little something in me started waking up again. Not my legs, but my mind. My edge. The turning point came the night she knocked on my door, hands shaking. She told me she'd overheard Vanessa's name at a pharmacy, people gossiping about clubs about a man who wasn't me. I didn't confront anyone. I didn't need to. I checked the security feeds myself. There was my wife smiling into another man's car like she didn't even remember my name. That night I stopped mourning. I started planning. I called my lawyer. Quietly rewrote things that could not be undone later. I watched Vanessa switch from cruel to apologetic when she sensed the shift. She cried. She begged. She claimed misunderstandings. And when that didn't fully work, she tried something darker. She called Lena into the living room one afternoon, put on her sweet voice, offered to help her study abroad, promised a better life. Then she slipped a small packet into her hand and told her to mix it into my food. Said it was medicine. When Lena hesitated, Vanessa dropped the mask. She insulted her, threatened her, made it clear that silence was survival. Lena didn't do it. She brought the packet to me instead. I sent it to a lab. It wasn't medicine. It was poison. Slow, untraceable, designed to finish what the accident started. That's when everything snapped into focus. I told Lena to act normal. Vanessa asked if I'd taken it. Lena said yes, barely holding it together. Vanessa smiled like she'd won the lottery. Meanwhile, I gathered evidence. Calls, transfers, photos, everything. When the truth finally hit the table, Vanessa didn't look powerful anymore. She looked small, desperate, loud. The kind of person who screams when control slips through their fingers. I gave her 48 hours to leave. She didn't beg then. She plotted. She ran to the man she'd been sneaking around with. And instead of accepting consequences, they decided on revenge. They hired people, thought they could scare me, thought a man in a wheelchair wouldn't fight back. They were wrong. The night they came, Lena heard them first. I triggered the alarms, security swarmed in, police followed. Confessions came fast when fear replaced confidence. Names were named. Proof stacked up. The courtroom was quiet when the verdict was read. Vanessa avoided my eyes. The woman who once mocked me couldn't even stand straight anymore. Justice didn't look dramatic. It looked final. After everything settled, the house felt different. Lighter. And one afternoon I told Lena the truth. I'd been walking for months. I'd hidden it. Not out of cruelty, but out of clarity. I needed to know who stayed when there was nothing to gain. She cried. Then she laughed. Then she hugged me like I was human again. Here's what I want to leave you with. Losing everything doesn't always mean you're weak. Sometimes it's the only way to see who people really are, and strength doesn't always come back the way you expect. Sometimes it rolls in quietly, waiting for the right moment to stand. So tell me, what do you think? Was what I did justice or revenge? Would you have walked away or fought back? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read them. And if you've ever been underestimated, share this story. Someone out there needs to hear it.